My mother never called me daughter. She called me mistake. A cursed family stain. They whipped me, abused me, and finally cast me aside. Only Nanny Gilly never gave up on me. Under her devoted care, I finally awakened. When they found out, they wanted my magic even threatened Nanny Gilly's life. Cornered and with no way out, I returned this life, and fell into the abyss. I didn't die. I ignited. And now, it's time to pay the blood debt. I was born with a cracked core, a glitch in the divine bloodline of House Phoenix. My mother called me a waste of skin, a goddamn disappointment who dragged the family name through the dirt. Years later, I became the deadliest soldier House Phoenix had ever seen. And then, the woman who tossed me out like a dead rat came crawling back.
I gave you life, Elevin. You owe me gratitude. Your sister is hurt. Need you to cut out half your spark and give it to her. She needs it more.
The accident happened before I even took my first breath. My father, Lord Alaric, had made the mistake of looking at a hand made a second too long. My mother, in a fit of jealous rage, snatched my unhatched egg from its gilded nest and used it as a bludgeon. She bashed the girl's brains out with my shell. I forced my way into the world early, shivering, bald. My spark was fractured before it could even ignite. I was an eyesore, a plucked chicken in a nest of eagles. Because of my broken core, I couldn't reach my awakening even at 10. In our world, if you can't shift, you're nothing. My mother couldn't stand the sight of me. She pinned me against the cold stone walls, her fists doing the talking.
What kind of curse did I bring upon myself to birth a pathetic freak like you? Do you have any idea how much of a joke I am at the high table? Why won't you just die? You're so useless, yet you cling to life like a goddamn parasite. If you don't die soon, you'll be the death of me.
I'd just stare at her with hollow eyes. That only made her angrier. One night, she drew a silver blade. She was done. My father caught her wrist.
Enough!
He didn't look at me.
She's a waste, Seraphina. But killing your own blood, the High Lords would have our heads. The scandal would ruin us.
My mother dropped the sword and collapsed into his arms.
I can't do this anymore. I want her gone. She makes me sick.
Alaric whispered, stroking her hair.
Send her to the fringes. Out of sight, out of mind.
My mother tossed a purse of 3,000 gold marks at her feet.
Take the runt. Feed her, drown her, I don't care. Just make sure I never see that face again.
Gilly looked at my broken, battered body. She didn't say a word. She just sighed and took my hand. I followed her, my legs heavy, my mind a blur. At the iron gates of the palace, I looked back. The doors slammed shut.
Gilly? Is she mad at me?
Gilly turned away. Her shoulders shook, and she made a sound like a wounded animal. When she looked back, she forced a smile.
We're gonna learn how to survive, little bird. Once you're strong, the world won't be able to ignore you anymore.
We were both fools. We thought power could heal everything. We were wrong. We moved to the Grey Ridges, a place for those the world forgot. Soon after, my parents had another daughter, Cassandra. Perfect, radiant. The rumors reached even our shack. They called her the son of House Phoenix. She had shifted at birth, a goddamn miracle. They said Alaric built her a palace of solid gold for her first birthday. They spent a fortune to send her to the Great Citadel for training. She was going to be a goddess. Unlike me, people whispered I wasn't even a phoenix. A mistake. A half-breed. One day, the local kids cornered me.
Where are your flames, freak?
Then came the stones. One hit my temple. Warm blood ran down my neck. I didn't move. I just watched them. Gilly came charging out, swinging a heavy iron ladle, screaming like a banshee until they scattered. She held me, her heart thumping against my ear.
Elle, look at me. You are a phoenix. Do you hear me? You're going to be the strongest of them all.
But one of those boys was the son of the High Warden. We were hunted out of the ridges by sunrise. Gilly spent every gold mark she had left to get me to Stormhaven Sanctuary, a school for the unwanted, the broken, and the desperate. Even they didn't want me.
Her core is a dead rock, a waste of space.
Gilly did something that made my stomach turn. She knelt. She reached into her cloak and pulled out her elder feathers, the source of her own remaining life force, and laid them on the table. I was an outcast initiate, but I was more than broken. My mind was a fog. I couldn't learn the spells. My body wouldn't listen.
Give up. You're trying to light a fire with a wet log.
Gilly didn't listen. Every night, she'd sit behind me, her skin and papery. She'd press her palms to my spine, shivering as she forced her own thinning mana into my body. She disappeared for days into the forbidden peaks, looking for herbs that didn't exist in legends. She fought off starving beasts with nothing but her bare hands and a jagged stone. Every time she came back, she was bleeding, thinner, shaking. I lived for her. I bled for her. And I hated them for her. I was terrified of losing Gilly. I clung to her tattered cloak, begging her to stop. I told her I was fine being a freak. I'd be a useless brat for the rest of my life if it meant she stayed safe. For the first time, Gilly snapped.
Don't you ever fucking say that again! Stop acting like a damn coward! The more they look down on you, the harder you fight. You stand up, Elle. You win. And then you slap the hell out of every person who ever called you a mistake.
When my mother beat me, I felt nothing. But Gilly's words, they made my throat go thick. My vision blurred. One hot tear escaped, then another. Gilly's expression softened. She wiped my face with a thumb that felt like sandpaper.
I can't stay forever, little bird. This world is a meat grinder. You have to learn how to keep your own head above water.
Why not? Why can't you stay?
She didn't answer. She just sighed and forced a vial of bitter, glowing liquid down my throat. I stopped arguing. I started working. Sunrise to sunset, moonrise to dawn. I pushed my fractured core until my veins felt like they were filled with molten lead. Seasons bled into years. Finally, it happened. The awakening. I was still scrawny, still plain. But I was an initiate of Stormhaven. I had a foundation. Gilly beamed.
Look at you. A real phoenix. Beautiful.
She kept going back to the Forbidden Peaks. Every time, she returned with more blood on her clothes and less light in her eyes.
It's too dangerous, Gilly. Stop.
Dangerous? I'm just bored of this dusty school. I go out for the fresh air. The herbs, just a bonus.
And the bruises?
I like sticking my nose where it doesn't belong, helping the weak. It's a hobby.
She never complained. Instead, she told me stories of the Great Divide, a world where miracles were common, where a beggar could become a king, and a god could fall into the mud.
If I get strong enough, do you think my parents would love me then? Like they love her?
I couldn't remember their faces anymore. It had been 200 years since the iron gate slammed shut, but I saw the other students talk about their families. Gentle mothers, stern fathers who hugged them when they won a duel.
Of course they will, Elle. Who wouldn't love a girl as brave as you?
That night, Gilly borrowed a scrying mirror from the headmaster. I watched through a crack in the door. The glass shimmered, revealing a room of gold and silk. A woman, Lady Seraphina, was brushing the hair of a girl who looked like a polished version of me. Seraphina looked soft, tender, a mother I'd never known. Gilly spoke, her voice trembling. She mentioned my name. She asked about a return to the High Court. Seraphina's face turned to stone. The tenderness vanished.
I told you before, I won't see that freak. But she's powerful now, milady.
I don't give a damn if she's the queen of hell. Don't bother me with this again. I decided long ago that I have no such daughter.
She swiped her hand. The image shattered into darkness. Gilly sat there in the silence, her eyes red and swimming with tears. I became a ghost in the training halls. Once I awakened, something inside me snapped open. The broken thing inside me finally started working. From initiate to adept 100 years. From adept to master 20. 30 years after that, I hit the zenith grade. I was a half step away from ascension. The headmaster, the man who called me dead weight, couldn't even look me in the eye anymore. He just stood there, mouth agape, watching me spar. My peers. Some quit because the grind was too much. Others died of old age, their mortal shells giving out before their spirits could rise. I became the first disciple, the strongest weapon Stormhaven ever produced. Then came the Grand Games, the Continental Tournament. The headmaster took me and the junior initiates to the capital. It was my first time leaving the sanctuary. My first time back in their world. I saw Cassandra there. She was a student at the Citadel of Solstice, the elite of the elite. She was the silver medalist of the new generation, the second strongest youth in the world. The top spot belonged to Silas, the crown prince of the Zenith. I saw Cassandra in the center of a roaring crowd. She was laughing, glowing, a star surrounded by 100 adoring moons. A younger disciple from Stormhaven nudged me, looking between us.
Master El, that girl from the Citadel, she looks just like you. Is she your sister or something?
I rarely looked in mirrors. I had no idea what my face looked like these days. Before I could answer, a sneering voice cut through the air.
A street merd doesn't get to compare herself to a phoenix. They look nothing alike.
Who's a mutt? Our Master El is a phoenix too!
The shouting match caught the attention of the crowd. Cassandra turned. Her eyes landed on me, surprise, then confusion, then a flicker of staged hurt. She started looking for someone in the throng. A chill swept down my spine, a glare like a frozen blade. I turned. I saw her. A face I'd seen in nightmares and scrying mirrors. Lady Seraphina.
Mother! I thought you weren't coming.
Seraphina stroked her hair with a tenderness that made my stomach turn.
I would never miss this, my love. I'm here to watch my little princess become the finest mage in the realm.
Mother, do you know her? She looks so much like me.
Never compare yourself to trash like that. You are the High Princess of House Phoenix.
Lady Seraphina, this peasant was just claiming to be a princess!
Seraphina's eyes were sharper than daggers. She let out a cold, sharp laugh.
Any stray can bark about being a princess. House Phoenix has only one, my daughter, Cassandra.
She took Cassandra's hand and walked toward the VIP dais without looking back. I stood there, drowned in a sea of laughter.
Pathetic. A mutt trying to play phoenix. Trying to claim kin with Lady Cassandra? Bold move. Shameful but bold.
I looked at my disciples. They looked crushed.
Stop it. Don't fight them. I'm not a princess.
Hell no! We've seen her true form! She's a 9-winged golden seraph! Pro tip for the idiots, only the royal bloodline can spawn a 9-wing. Cassandra is the only princess. Who the hell is this Ella one?
The shouting turned into shoving. Shoving turned into a fist and a nose. Finally, a high overseer stepped in.
Stormhof. Typical. Guards, throw these troublemakers out.
What about them?
The overseer's eyes narrowed. A crushing weight settled on my shoulders. Gravity doubled. Cold sweat beaded on my forehead. It was hard to breathe, let alone speak. I forced my spine straight.
Bullshit! This is bullshit. It wasn't one-sided. You're being biased, and you know it.
Fine! Everyone involved is disqualified!
That's when Cassandra stepped in, looking like a goddamn saint. She bowed, modest, humble, perfect.
Lord 𝒐𝒏𝒆, please. This was all because of me. Don't punish my classmates. They were just defending my honor. Lord 𝒐𝒏𝒆, please. This was all my fault. Don't punish my brothers. They were only defending my honor. This tournament only happens once a century. To miss it over a misunderstanding, it would destroy their futures.
She knelt, modest, pathetic, a goddamn saint. The Citadel students looked at her with wet eyes, fists clenched. They looked like they wanted to tear our throats out for even existing. But her mercy didn't extend to us. Not a word for Stormhaven.
Fine. Stormhaven is out. Guards! Escort them to the gates.
Hold it! Right there!
Check the 𝒐𝒕𝒄𝒂𝒔𝒕. Rewind the records. Let everyone see who threw the first punch. If you kick us out without the truth, I'll take this to the High Council myself. I'll scream bias until every house in this realm hears it.
The crowd went silent. To challenge an overseer was social suicide. But Stormhaven's reputation was on the line. My kids' futures were on the line. I wasn't budging.
You dare. You're a fraud, Elowen. Pretending to be a phoenix, causing riots, and now you want to lecture us on justice. I should have ended you years ago.
She flicked her wrist. A wave of white-hot phoenix fire roared toward me. I felt the heat before I saw the flames. My New robes singed, the smell of burnt fabric filling my nose. The fire stopped half an inch from my throat.
Master, let's go.
Are you trying to bully me into silence, milady? Or are you just afraid of what the records show?
Stormhaven is a joke. A sanctuary for runts and failures. You don't belong on this stage.
Then let's make it interesting. A bet. If I win the tournament and beat your golden girl, you apologize. In public. To all of us.
Laughter erupted from the Citadel benches.
You? Beat Cassandra? You won't even survive the first round. Then you have nothing to lose. Unless you're scared the mutt actually has teeth.
Fine! And when you lose...
I looked at her, the woman who had broken me before I was born.
I'll return everything. I'll cut the very flesh you gave me from my bones. I'll bleed out every drop of your house's blood until there's nothing left. You can have the corpse.
The air went cold. The laughter stopped. Even Seraphina's face went pale for a split second. The crowd felt the weight of it, the sheer, jagged hatred in my voice.
Deal. Cassandra, when you meet her on the field, show no mercy.
The games began. The other houses avoided us like the plague. They knew the Citadel had marked us.
Cassandra, stay back. I'll deal with these failures myself.
Stay inside. Unless I'm dead, nobody touches you.
The Citadel crowd roared with laughter.
Going solo? You really are suicidal!
Silas lunged, his blade wreathed in lightning. I didn't blink. I didn't even draw a weapon. In a blur of motion, I was behind him. My palm slammed into the base of his skull. The sound echoed in the sudden silence. Silas hit the dirt. Hard. His lightning fizzled out like a dying candle. I looked at Cassandra.
Next.
I let out a slow, steady breath. Fine. Let's do this the hard way. I reached down and unlatched the gravity braces from my wrists and ankles. They hit the stone floor with a bone-shaking thud. My body felt lighter than air. Speed was the only absolute I'd ever learned in 200 years of training in the dirt. Facing 20 Citadel elites, I became nothing but a blur of motion. I moved through them like a ghost through a graveyard. I didn't have time for flashy spells. Every strike had to count. Behind me, my disciples were huddled in the barrier. If I tripped, they were dead meat. 3 seconds later, only 10 of them were still standing. The arena went graveyard silent. The mocking whispers died in their throats. They weren't looking at a mutt anymore. They were looking at a predator. They tried to form a battle circle, a complex web of mana designed to trap and crush. I didn't wait. I dived straight into the heart of their formation, shattering the flow of their energy. But they were fast. They shifted. A whirlwind of invisible blades spinning toward me from every direction. Enough playing around. I let my true form rip. My human skin dissolved as I shifted into the 9-winged phoenix, my spirit armored in white-hot solar fire. A massive shockwave of flame erupted from me with a deafening screech.
She's a phoenix! A goddamn golden 9-wing!
Does Alaric have another daughter? Where the hell did she come from?
I shifted back to my human form and stepped toward Cassandra. She was trembling, her face pale as a ghost. Suddenly, she burst into tears.
I'm the only princess! She's a fake! She's a goddamn fake!
She shrieked and summoned the sun-feather daggers, the 7 legendary relics of our house. They blazed with destructive power, screaming through the air as they dove toward my heart. Just as the daggers reached my skin, I raised a hand. They stopped. 7 glowing blades hovering inches from my flesh. I traced a symbol in the air. The daggers hummed, vibrating under my command. I reversed their path, turning the points toward Cassandra, surrounding her in a ring of cold, glowing steel.
Trying to kill me, little sister?
Cassandra's lip quivered. Fear leaked into her eyes. I let the daggers inch closer, just enough to feel the heat.
Surrender. Say the word.
You don't get it, sister. All I have to do is cry.
And Mother will end you.
She knew who I was. She always knew. Before I could breathe, she threw herself backward. The blades barely grazed her silk dress, but she fell as if she'd been struck by a truck. Lady Seraphina blurred from the dais. She caught Cassandra with one hand and slammed a palm into my chest with the other. I could have dodged it. I chose not to. I wanted this to be the end of us. I hit the dirt, coughing up blood. A roar of fury erupted from the crowd.
The High Lady is cheating! This is bullshit!
Is anyone going to stop this? How is this a fair fight if the gods intervene?
Shut your mouths! This brat tried to murder her own sister. As her mother, I'm teaching her a lesson she should have learned long ago.
Oh, so now she was my mother, only when it came time to punish me.
I should have killed you in the cradle. Where did you steal our family's blade arts from? You're not worthy to touch these daggers. You're a fucking abomination! They're filthy now. I won't have Cassandra getting sick from your touch.
She flew off with her precious golden girl. I stood up slowly, wiping the blood from my chin. I looked at the High Overseer.
Did I win?
Yes, you won.
I thanked him and dropped the barrier. My disciple swarmed me. My little junior was a mess of snot and tears, clinging to my waist.
Screw that lady! If she doesn't want you, I'm taking you home! I'll tell my mom to adopt you! You can be my sister for real! Back off, kid. If anyone's adopting her, it's my family. We're richer.
I laughed. It hurt my ribs, but for the first time in centuries, my heart didn't feel like a stone. I wasn't alone. I took the championship.
𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒆, join us at the Citadel. With your talent, you could rule the realm in a decade.
Thanks, but I've already got a home.
Loyalty is rare these days. If you ever find yourself in trouble, little Phoenix, find me.
I headed back to Stormhaven, my heart racing. I had the vitality call. This would save Gilly. It would help her survive the waning, the natural fading of old age. We'd have forever. But when I reached our shack, Gilly was gone. A note sat on the table. 3 words. Come to Phoenix Spires. My blood ran cold. I flew. The palace was more bloated and gilded than ever. I didn't care about the gold. I found my parents in the throne room.
Where is she? Where is Gilly?
No manners. You see your parents and you ask for a servant.
𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒄𝒂𝒔𝒕, your sister is in trouble. After the game, she suffered a massive psychic backlash. Her core is shattered.
I need you to be a sister. Give her half of your core. You're a 9-wing now. You'll regrow it.
I stared at them. They were asking for my heart, like it was a piece of candy.
Look, El. We're different from the other houses. Our cores regrow, like skin. Especially yours. That primordial spark of yours is living proof. You were born broken, and look at you now.
You're a goddamn miracle. You'll make a new one. But Cassandra, she needs half of yours now. She'll have a perfect core, and you'll be fine in a few decades.
He said it like he was asking to borrow a cup of sugar. Like my core, the thing Gilly spent centuries of blood and agony to fix was just a spare part.
Hell no.
You heartless bitch! That's your sister! If you hadn't broken her pride at the games, she wouldn't be in this mess. You owe her! If you won't give it, I'll carve it out of your chest myself. I gave you that life, Elwan. I own every drop of blood in your veins!
I pushed myself up. My heart was a stone.
Where is Gilly?
Dead.
She's exaggerating. Gilly is in the Golden Palace tending to your sister. She wants you to do this, El. She wants what's best for the family.
I see her, or no deal.
They brought a woman out. She had Gilly's face, Gilly's clothes. But when she spoke, my stomach turned.
Oh, little bird, just give the princess your spark. It's for the best.
My hands shook. Not from fear, but from rage. Gilly never called me little bird without it sounding like a prayer. This creature sounded like a salesman. I flicked my wrist, sending a lash of solar fire across her face. The illusion shattered, revealing a terrified shapeshifter who scrambled away, shrieking.
Where is she? What did you do to her?
Alaric wouldn't look at me. Seraphina signaled the guards. They carried Gilly in on a stretcher. The smell of copper hit me first. She was a map of open wounds, blood dripping onto the floor. She couldn't even groan.
Gilly, no, look at me. I have the cure. Just open your mouth, please.
She's a servant, Elawan. She's lived long enough. This belongs to Cassandra now.
I looked at her. I realized then that hate has no bottom. It's just an endless, freezing dark.
Give it back.
A blast of wind hit me from behind. I waited for the impact, the bone-deep pain. It never came. I turned. Gilly was standing. Her true form, a tattered, grey bird, had expanded, her wings shielding my back. There was a hole, the size of a fist, in her chest. Blood pumped out in rhythmic, dying spurts.
Run, Elle. Live. Be free.
She used the last of her life to shove me toward the balcony.
You're not going anywhere!
Seraphina screamed, kicking Gilly's dying body. Gilly didn't let go. She clung to Seraphina's ankles with a grip like iron, even as the light left her eyes. I ran. I didn't know where, but I ran until my lungs burned. I ended up at the edge of the abyss of the fallen. Seraphina, Alaric, caught up. Their guards surrounded me, blades drawn.
Give us the spark, you brat! It's the only way you can pay for what you've done!
I owe you nothing. You gave me life. Today I give it back. But you get nothing.
I didn't hesitate. I stepped back into the void. My body shattered. Pain? No. It was a cold, tearing vibration. Then, a voice. Gilly's voice. Live. Elle. Don't let the fire go out. The darkness didn't swallow me. It ignited. I swam toward a pinpoint of white light. When I opened my eyes, the sky was screaming. Lightning struck me not once, but 1,000 times. It wasn't killing me. It was forging me. My flesh wove itself back together, not as a girl, but as something ancient. Something eternal. I roared. The clouds vanished. Below, the crowd at the abyss stared up in terror. A bird the size of a warship filled the sky. It wasn't gold. It was a blinding, crystalline crimson. Flames that didn't just burn, they purified.
The vermilion avatar, the sun god, has returned.
Seraphina and Alaric were trembling. They saw the power. They saw the divinity.
Elevin, our daughter! Come home! Leave the house! We'll rule the world together!
I shifted back. I drifted down, my feet barely touching the scorched earth.
No, it can't be you. You were a runt. A mistake.
You wanted a spark?
Seraphina trembled, as if she were looking at a ghost, but the shock didn't last. She stood up, a jagged, hysterical laugh tearing from her throat.
So what if you're some goddamn avatar now? I'm your mother. You think a few shiny feathers make you something you're not? You wouldn't dare kill me. You're still too weak to do it.
No, I won't kill you. That would be too easy. I want you to live. I want you to live forever.
I flicked my fingers. A thread of crimson gold light spun from my hand and buried itself in her forehead. She froze, her hands flying to her skin, clawing at nothing.
What did you do to me?
I ignored her. I turned to Lord Alaric. He was smarter than her, or at least more of a coward. He was already backing away, hands raised in a pathetic gesture of peace.
I didn't do any of it. It was her! All of it was her!
I looked at him, the man who had watched my mother bash a girl's brains out with my egg. The man who had watched me get beaten for 10 years and never said a word. The man who sat on his throne while they tortured Gilly. He never raised a fist against me. But he was worse than Seraphina. He had every chance to stop the nightmare, and he chose comfort instead. He thought silence made him innocent. Silence is a goddamn lie. I threw 2 more golden threads into his chest. They didn't feel it yet. The slow, screaming fall into hell. As they began to harden into stone, frozen as statues on that jagged peak, the Citadel crowd arrived. Cassandra was with them. She looked perfect. No scars, no shattered core. Her magic was pulsing through her, strong and healthy. I could see through her glamour now. Her core had never been damaged.
You monster! You're committing the ultimate sin. You're killing our parents. Even if you're an avatar, the cosmos won't forgive this. Release them now!
Your parents? What do they have to do with me?
They're your flesh and blood! You're lower than a beast for doing this to them!
I paid that debt. I died in that abyss. Every drop of blood they gave me is gone. Now, I'm here for Gilly. And you played your part, little sister.
Lucian! She's going to kill me!
Elvin, stop. I've heard about the drama with your house, but parents are parents. Let them go. Be the bigger person.
Be the bigger person. That's what people always say when they're not the ones bleeding.
And if I don't?
You think you can take on the entire High Council? Retribution will destroy you.
I didn't kill them. They're alive. You want them? Take them.
Lucian frowned. He waved a hand, breaking my glamour. The stone skin fell away, and Alaric and Seraphina gasped, falling into the dirt.
Thank you for being reasonable.
He took the 3 of them and left. He thought he had won. He didn't know that once the golden thread enters the soul, there is no cure. A week later, Phoenix spires burned. The rumors said Alaric and Seraphina went mad. Driven mad by the curse, they turned on their precious Cassandra. They tore her apart with their bare hands before they even realized what they were doing. When they woke up covered in her blood, the real hell began. Every time one died, my thread pulled them back. Their flesh would rot, their bones would shatter, and then snap they were whole again. 2 half-rotted monsters driven by nothing but hatred, clawing at each other in the ruins of their palace. Nobody went near the mountain. The screams were enough to drive a lesser mage insane. Finally, Archmage Tai from the Citadel came to Stormhaven. I was sitting by a simple headstone in the garden.
If you're here to talk me out of it, save your breath.
They deserve it, but how long do you want this to go on? It's time for an ending, El.
I can't kill them. The divine backlash would destroy everything I've built here.
Then I'll do it. I'll be the hand of fate. You've carried enough, little Phoenix.
What do you think, Nanny?
The wind caught the leaves of the evergreen tree nearby, making a sound that felt like a sigh. Tai ended them that night. He announced their crimes to the realm. There was no funeral, no mourning, just spit and curses for the fallen House Phoenix. The elders of the high houses tried to get me to take the throne. I told them to go to hell. I stayed at Stormhaven. I became the master of the sanctuary. We're the top-tier school now. Not because of gold or bloodlines, but because we take the runts. We take the broken. My littlest junior is a champion now. She still cries when she fights, which pisses off her opponents. They think she's weak until she starts breaking ribs. I go to the garden every day. Whenever I look up, the wind moves the branches of the evergreen, and for a second, it sounds like someone is whispering my name. I didn't become the legend Gilly told me about. I became something better. I'm alive, and I am free.